So it's one of the ones that I actually got a really good click-through rate on, and I will 100% say that that was probably the subject line. It was for Kat Griffin's dollar pick and mix bundle, or Palooza as she sometimes called it. I think this was the one earlier this year. And that my $47 flash sale system for $1, like I think people were like, "Ooh, where can I get that?" So I think that's why it did so well.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of events, so I have a lot of event emails, and this is kind of showing like, hey, you can get good clicks on stuff like this.
Yeah. I love a hook, and it's such a fine line, isn't it? Kind of with kind of email subject lines, is because everything you read says, "Oh, you should have a hook, you should have a good hook," but then you don't want to be that person that kind of is doing the hook just for the open. So it's kind
Yeah,
of,
you don't want to play out.
yeah, exactly. So it's
What
kind
is
of
that called? It's not clickbait. Is that what
clickbait.
they call it?
Yeah.
Clickbait, I think, or something like that. Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
Which is why this is so good, because it's a really good offer and it's a hook, but it's a genuine offer, isn't it? So it kind of that it works perfectly. And then I think you said the preview line then was less than your at-home coffee, way more useful, which I thought was so
Yeah.
fun.
Well, and I try to, so my thing has kind of been making my preview text funny because since I was a police officer, we dealt with the things we did. I like have a sense of humor around everything because you kind of have to. And so for me, I've been trying to stand out with like not making fun of us, but making light of some of the struggles. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why my preview text ends up like that. Plus, everybody, since we have AI and you know all that's going on, it's like cheaper than your Starbucks coffee. So I'm like, well, no, I make my coffee at home and that still
Yes.
costs money. So,
Yes. Yeah, much more realistic than what AI is trying to serve us up, thinks we're all doing.
yeah, I mean, I love AI, but sometimes, and I'm not that good of a copywriter, but I've learned over the last 7 or 8 years, like how to get better with it. So,
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of my questions I've got for you as we kind of go through this. Before we get into the main body copy though, um, you've got your header at the top here, and I love the bright pinks and that. They're so catchy. But actually what really drew me was that you've got your kind of, not disclaimer, that's completely the wrong word, but the line at the top here. So this email may contain affiliate links. Um, if you use links to buy, then you'll get some money. And I love that you're kind of so upfront with things like that, because the world of newsletters and things and monetization around newsletters and how we make money through email has changed so much in the last couple of years. Um, so is that something that you're quite conscious of?
yes, and it's really funny because I mean, I've one of the first reasons that I was scared to start my blog was it GDPR? I always get the D and the P mixed up. But
Got it.
remember when that came out and that was really big and we were all freaking out? I was like, well, I can't start my blog. I don't know what to do. I'm going to get sued, you know. So my friend Amira, who I've known forever, she's a lawyer, and so I got like templates from her. So this my emails had the disclaimer at the bottom, and one of my other attorney friends was like, well, you do know that's supposed to be at the top more. I was like, oh, so I have it at the top and the bottom.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm covered.
Yep. Yep. I think you could, if I scroll down, we can see it. You do have it. Yeah. In the footer as well. You've got like a longer paragraph there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But like you say, and I think people appreciate that. I mean, we're all a bit more kind of savvy with it now, I think. Kind of, we're all kind of aware that there's affiliates and things in emails, but it's always nice when people are upfront, I think.
Well, I do too. And I think because you know, like I serve a B2B audience versus a B2C, most people are familiar with that. I feel like when you're doing the business to consumer, it's a little bit different and they may not expect that, but most of us are making money through our emails and people know that. So,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we've got the banner and your first kind of sentence. Going back to the banner though, I also love, sorry, I completely skipped over it, but that you've got almost like your one-liner in there about what you do as a reminder for people when they open. Um, do you keep your
yes.
banner the same throughout all of your kind of emails?
So actually, I probably should change that a little bit more because yeah, I do content creation, but it's more AI. So I've kind of pivoted a little, but still use the same brand. Those are some of the very first stock photos I ever got. I loved her stuff, and I cannot remember her name for the life of me now. So I made that, but now I also have newsletters and different things that I do with Claude now that are very structured and more like the magazine newsletter. So this is kind of like this will go out every day or when I have other promotions, but then I do have like my newsletters and stuff formatted. So I do have quite a few different designs and I will change the header depending on like when I do my bundle that those emails are going to have like the worst day business bundle in them.
Yeah. Keep it fresh for the reader. And
Yes.
then into your body copy. And I love, obviously, you're going straight in with a bit of kind of personalization at the top with first name. Um, and then I'm hopping into your inbox for a second time today. So, like you said, this is part of a launch, was it? Oh, part of the bundle, wasn't it?
What
Launch of the bundle.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things that went out during a launch, but I had to get it in.
Mm.
And that's just where it fit in. I don't even usually I email almost every day, but I don't usually do twice a day unless it's a launch. And so this kind of snuck in, but the subject line was like kind of grabbing away. So I mean, there were some mistakes and good things here, and I always say that out loud to everybody. Like there's good and bad.
But I quite like that you acknowledge it's the second time. Like, it's not like you're trying to sneak it in. It's kind of, yeah, this is the second time today, but you need to know about this because it's, yeah, because
It's really good and juicy, so you want to go get it.
exactly. A bit that I absolutely love is you're talking about the bundles. It's a pick and mix bundle, but think of it like a pick and mix candy counter. So this analogy here, um, which I thought was fun, kind of way to kind of approach it and explain what a bundle is. Because again, most people in B2B might be familiar with it, but just in case, it gives it that.
And this was different because it's not free or you're paying a VIP tier. It's $1 for everything. So it's a little bit different, which is why her event is really popular.
Yeah. Um, One of my questions I had actually is obviously the bundles, I've done a couple myself. And that's kind of how we came together today, is through this world. But kind of, I'd love to know your kind of experience with them. I always think of them as a great way also for list building newsletters as well. So not necessarily, you know, you're not going to make a lot of money out of them. Like you say, especially if you're selling your $47 product for $1, but they're a really good list builder. I don't know what your kind of thoughts on that are.
So I have taught SEO, and as AI came out, well, actually, probably started 5 years ago in bundles, and then I think the year after that in summits. And the first few years, I may have had like under 10, but I really amped it up. I think I had over 70 last year, bundles and summits that I was in. And so I do a lot of that. I have a very outgoing personality. I like talking to people. I like networking and things like that. So it's kind of natural for me to do events, to be on the panels of events, to do multiple tiers and bundles because it is a really good way to grow our list. And, if you have order bumps and upsells along with that dollar, I mean, most bundles are free and then they have that VIP tier. But with this one, I may not have been making a lot. I think I got more taken out in fees, but people were buying order bumps and upsells. So you still make on that front end from that too. So you can go both ways. You can
Yeah.
grow your list, and that's honestly my main way of growing my list is events now.
Yeah. And I think that's really clever. You just said those kind of order bumps and upsells, because I guess it's also in the follow up as well, isn't it? Like if you're really clever about bringing in people through these events, and then like you said, you're emailing regularly so that people get to know you and the value that you're sharing, then it and it's a longer game, isn't it? So yeah, you might have made like you said, people aren't paying $1 this time, but next time they might come for a bigger product. So that's really interesting. I hadn't thought of that upsell side of it necessarily.
Yeah, and with the order bumps too, I mean, they're usually mine are even and tripwires and things. Mine are usually like $9 or $12 or something, so they're really inexpensive and easy for people to add on. And one thing I will say, I try to put a lot of personality as much as I can in my emails. I can remember when I first started my list, like I was so scared to be me because I'm like goofy, funny Heather. But that's when you get your real people, right? When you're you. And so I always encourage people, like, you can see little pieces of me in here, and I try to make my emails fun.
Yeah, which is exactly why when I read the kind of the pick mix candy counter made me smile. If you're so dry, if you're really, really dry with the B2B stuff, it does just like you say, turn people off. But that even just that one line, and then except instead of gummy bears, you're grabbing business tools templates. Is so fun, like you said, and brings a bit of you into it and a bit makes it, yeah, almost like going back to that easy yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And of course, I like gummy bears. So you're getting a hint too. That's my favorite candy. So
everyone knows now what to get you.
gummy bears.
Maybe both. So there's that bit of personality, and then I love that you then go into a bit more about kind of what it is you're offering within the bundle. So your particular offer of the rapid revenue boost, and kind of breaking that down to what people would get for their $1. That's such a crazy good
Yeah,
deal. Yeah.
it is. I mean, it's even got flash sale templates. And I know me when I hear email templates, I'm like, yes.
I know. I mean, I'm a sucker for them, and I email marketing is what I do day in day out. But
Yeah.
I'm still a sucker for them because they're so interesting, and because my the ones I do e-commerce for clients. So the B2B stuff still really interests me. So a lot of them I'll be like, oh, so how do I do that for myself? Kind of because it's very different kind of writing. And it is interesting to, even if you've never used the actual template, to get an idea of how other people write. I think
Yes,
that's
love
always,
that. Yes, 100%. You know, especially copywriters because I'm not a natural copywriter. I've learned over time, but I just, like you said, it's those tips that can be invaluable. I mean, I just went to it wasn't really a webinar, it was kind of a training today that, I mean, I'm really solid on, but there was one thing she said about a tip that I wasn't doing. And so I feel like we can always get something from almost everything around us or the people around us.
yeah. I am do you know Tarzan K? She's
Yes.
one of yours. Yeah. I heard her once say something very, very similar. She's like, if you've done like a webinar or a day rate or something, and somebody has a light bulb moment, she was like, point that out because that's what they've just paid their money for. Like that one one tiny thing is worth all that money they just paid for that webinar or that day rate or anything. So, it's you sometimes you don't have to, yeah, I think she was basically saying you don't have to have everything, value, 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 value. If one person comes away with like one really good idea or one
Yep.
tip, that's worth all the money that they've invested. So
And
yeah,
that's an extra way for me to make money in this particular like training or whatever. Like it was an
yeah.
extra way that I wasn't doing yet to make money on autopilot. And I'm like, oh, well, I want to go implement that right now. So
I love that also you said you're not a natural copywriter, but you've learned it because I feel like I can see like all the skills here, which the ones that you've built up over the years. Because when I saw the next bit that we're coming to, so even if your list is small and your audience is quiet, so overcoming those obstacles, so
yep.
what people like immediately, like the things that people are going to say, to go, oh, this isn't for me because my list is too small, or this isn't for me
Yep.
because my audience doesn't engage, and you're like, no, my this product will help despite all those
Yep.
things. Yeah, so that's
I'm
definitely,
very much a technical writer. That's what I did. So when I started my freelance writing business, I very much did SEO optimized blog posts for businesses in the security industry because I had 20 years in law enforcement and knew I could spin that experience into that. So I'm very much a technical writer. I love writing, but it has taken me a while. And I still am not like 100% there. I'll always be learning that, but I have learned a lot, thankfully, over the years.
I feel like, yeah, and I feel like you can see it also because I feel like there's that technical side of it with that bit of personality you put in with the analogy. I feel like that's maybe why this email did so well as well, because I think it's kind of hit that sweet spot, which I think
Yes.
we kind of, yeah, a lot of people are kind of trying to get to a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it took a long time for me to build up. And I mean, I write every day. And I do have people on my list where I let them just get like a weekly, like roundup email because they don't want to be emailed every day. But I think
Mm.
it's that muscle that you build when you write emails to your people all the time. It is my favorite way to communicate with my audience. Absolute favorite. I really don't do a lot of social media.
That's fun. So you do email every day?
Yeah, just about every day. There may be like a Saturday or something, but like this time I had to email like 9 days in a row. I think it's like four different events
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I had to fit in.
I guess that's good content for you though, isn't it? Like doing the events
Yes.
and the bundles, it's things you can share and talk about. Um, to
And
kind of
I try to do at least sometimes it may be like the hurry up, this is going, but I try to do spin it to me because you know they give you that swipe copy.
yeah,
And so, and I can remember when before I batched things, I was always hurry up and I never had time to really customize as much as I wanted to. But now that's part of my plan and I really try to put in, and I do, I've trained my Claude and ChatGPT so well that they write a lot for me and I go in and tweak things, but like, it knows my personality and it knows how I write. And I just think that you build that over time and that's invaluable.
yeah. And I think I get asked about AI a lot. And I think exactly what you've just said. I think because you see all these things on especially on like LinkedIn and stuff, and people say, "Oh, I can spot an AI written email. I can spot an AI LinkedIn post," you know, and you can if you haven't done that
Yes.
bit where you said, you know, if you're clever enough and you take the time to train, you know,
Yes.
train the platforms to how you want to do it, that is what the difference is between those kind of generic posts and emails and
Yes.
yeah, kind of other content that gives you the capability to write as many emails as you do.
It's really funny because I watched, and this has been probably like 6 months now, or maybe five. Somebody made a post on Threads, and I was like clapping for her because she's like, "You people that are like, AI wrote this, blah, blah, blah." I was saying the things that AI does before we used AI. Like, it's using that's where it gets its copywriting from, is all of us that were using. So she's like, I'm saying things that I said before AI, and you're like, AI wrote that. And no, so stop. That's the kind of post it was. It was like, so stop.
Yeah. 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 It's crazy, isn't it? And now it's almost like it almost feels like people want to get on their soapbox and say, you can't,
I
yeah,
mean, that's
you
good
can't.
to, you have the people that are like on either side, and it can be good to pick that oppositional kind of thing, but you do have to watch too. It's like, hey, I was doing this before AI, so
Yeah, 100%. You walk through the rest of the kind of the details. We got the kind of the image and then the big call to action. And I love a big, bright call to action button.
you
Uh,
know what's really funny? So I have the MCP connection for Kit because that's my email service provider. I use Kit, and I have that. And I got an email the other day that Kit was like, "Hey, can we do a free audit on your account?" I'm like, "Sure." So I had what they said, and then I had Claude go look through at least 20 of my last like broadcast emails, and the emails that performed the best had buttons, and those were the call to actions that performed the best, which was
yeah,
very interesting. But I know we need data, like to know what's going right and wrong and all that. But I, with ADHD and chronic health issues, like my brain would get overwhelmed. So this is a lot of, I don't just use, I probably use AI more for strategy now too. It's like that thinking partner to think of things that I wouldn't have, or that analyzing. It'll analyze my survey data. And that's invaluable. If you were like me, it would have been like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just going to guess.
yeah.
But that's what it found out.
And what's really, I think, important to kind of say is as well, because you've built that muscle of sending the emails, you've got a lot of data for it to then look through. I
Oh,
think,
yes.
yeah, that's invaluable though, isn't it? Because I think sometimes we try too quickly to see if something's working when actually you need to be doing before you can evaluate whether something's really working. And I love that it liked your buttons because I'm always banging on about it's one of the few, I hate the word best practices, but it's one of the few best practices that I'm like I really get behind, because I think, yeah, everything I've found, they do tend to convert better. I think especially with like attention spans, mobiles,
Yes.
even down to like thinking about accessibility and things like that. I think, yeah, having like a big bold call to action doesn't always look like pretty and on brand maybe, but I think, yeah, I think it does the job. So um
Well, and Claude
yeah.
also discovered the subject lines that got the most opens, and they were all like me positioning a look behind the scenes, or they are me coming from my point of view, which was very interesting
Yeah.
too. Which I mean, kind of makes sense, but that's just information that I probably wouldn't have figured out on my own.
Yeah, that's interesting because that's all the thing, people being nosy. And I have
Yeah,
they're the kind of emails that I always open. Yeah, if somebody's going to tell me a
and I
secret.
did too.
Yeah. It's just human nature, I guess, isn't it? Just kind of, yeah, people want that kind of um contract. And I guess actually that's really interesting as well, because then you know what to kind of put in between. So if you're doing a lot of, like you say, bundles and kind of cart opening and cart closing stuff, you know what to kind of put in the mix that will keep the engagement up. Oh, that's really clever. I have to say, I've been using Chat GPT, and I haven't ventured into Claude yet. But the more I hear people talk about it, the more I'm kind of being swayed to go and play with it.
Yeah, it's night, and I love ChatGPT. I love the custom GPTs that I've built. And of course, a lot of my income comes from those. And then, ChatGPT had that big thing with the US government, and like a million people got off of the platform, and it was like crazy. That was right before my launch. That was going to be a custom GPT membership. So I was like right before, maybe like 2 weeks before. So I had to kind of pivot in its AI systems now because I'll do GPTs and Claude. But the way you work in Claude, like Chat GPT really missed some of this because you have skills that are the way you want things done. And then you have projects in Claude where you're giving it like files and things to go look at. Like, so for my email marketing, it would be like subject lines and preview text and things like that. And then my skill would be like, this is how I want things done. And they work really, it's just amazing. They work well together. And then you connect your tools. It's insane. Like, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Because I saw Klaviyo has now got an integration with Claude, and I think a lot of the kind of, yeah, like you say, a lot of the platforms are bringing in those integrations to making everything work together. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to play with it. I think,
Yeah, you'll like, I mean, it took a minute because I was like, oh my gosh, now I have, because I went all in on ChatGPT because that was just like my expertise. And I'm like, let me go try Claude. The problem is I run out. So I have the $20 paid plan on ChatGPT and the one on Claude, but I have extra money added because I always go above. But I don't want to pay $100 a month for the next one up, and that's what it is. Same with ChatGPT. I'm like, I don't want to do that, and so you will run out of time more on Claude depending on when you use it too. But for me, it's worth it. So there are certain things that if I run out of time on Claude, I can do in ChatGPT, and I just kind of balance it for now. I might have to upgrade maybe 1 month for the bundle.
worth it though, isn't it? If you're only doing it occasionally, it then becomes
I
worth.
mean, it's like paying somebody to do something. Co-work is literally going and doing things for me that like you would have a person do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. A bit like I was saying before we hopped on this call, like being on Descript, the AI that's built into that and labels me to edit it without really learning about photo editing. I just kind of say, this is what I need, and then it does it, which is crazy. Um,
Which is magic.
yeah. Fab. And then
Literal magic.
But the email obviously is signed off from you, and I like the PS that you've got in here as well. So if people aren't interested, they can let you know. So yeah, again, that was a question I had. Like, are you quite conscious of letting people opt out of when you're doing your bundles and things? Yeah, is Kit quite
Every
good for that kind of
Yep.
setup? Yeah.
Every launch I do it in, and I try to do, even if it's not required, I try to do 2 solo emails for every event I'm in. Sometimes I can't just because if it's like a really busy week or something, I will just do the mention, but I don't want people. I think this is easier. Like, I don't want to hear about this bundle anymore. Like, I'm not gonna buy. I'm not gonna go to this. I'm not gonna buy this. I'm not gonna do this. So I think giving them that option to opt out. But then you also have to be careful the way you word it. So I've kind of left off the skip these emails because I was told by an email deliverability expert that saying opt out itself was kind of negative in the email. So that's why I'm kind of lighthearted about it. Like sometimes I do say skip these emails, but sometimes it's just click here to let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it feels less formal as well, doesn't it? Yeah. Kind of
Yes.
it.
More friendly, more, yeah, if you don't want to hear about this anymore, which mine were always like that, but they just might have said opt out before. But
Yeah. Just kind
either
of.
way, almost all my emails, if I'm going to do more than one email, have it.
Yeah. And I think that's really then going to that segmentation of just emailing people that want to hear it is, yeah, then helps, like you say, with the deliverability and helps with, yeah, those emails getting that engagement. Because I don't, maybe just because I love to see what email people are emailing, but I don't tend to opt out when people are doing that. I would just,
I don't either.
yeah, sometimes, but then on the flip side, I'm also like sometimes I'll then just delete them straight away because I know they're going to be about, oh, she's sending about that again, so
Yeah.
I won't open those. So it swings and roundabouts really, but it's interesting that yeah, I think a lot of people appreciate having the kind of the offer to kind of yeah, kind of
Yeah, because then it keeps them from, they may want to hear your other stuff that comes out or like your weekly newsletter or one or
yeah,
whatever, but they don't want to hear about that specific bundle.
yeah,
So they may, instead of deleting it or whatever, they may just opt out and then I just don't send it. So I feel like it's much better for my people too. I really try to be cognizant and treat my people the way I would want to be treated. I just really try to be lighthearted, be open, transparent, and I think that's just huge these days.
yeah, yeah. And I think that we pick up on it as well, don't we? You know, we can see where people are
Yes.
coming from us. And I think that then this section that we're looking at the bottom is then kind of part of that because it's like, well, here's my bundle, but if that's not for you right now, here's some free files and printables. So
Yeah.
even if they've opened the email and it's not for them, there's other things here that might be. So
Yeah,
yeah,
most of my freebies are in a resource library, and that was just the model I started on, and it would be a giant pain to remove everything at this point, so I just continue it. But
yeah.
people, I had somebody email me because I had changed one of my templates and the password, and that got erased. They're like, "Oh, could you please put that back in?" Because they're like, "Oh yeah, I have that freebie from Heather. I can go click and
Ah, that's
and
clever
go
because
in." It's
and
usually,
actually, yeah, like you said, you said like that's the way you set it up, and it's too much of a pain to change it. But actually, one of the things that really drives me crazy is when someone's got like 10 different freebies or something, and you want all of them, and then you end up in 10 different funnels of emails that
yep,
follow all of them. And I'm like, but I don't need all the emails, or I don't need to put my email in for each one. So actually, if you've got
yep,
multiple ones, yeah, it's quite nice. One, that they're all in one place, and two, like that person that emailed you, it's really interesting that
mm-hmm.
that's down the bottom and they know that they can just click on it whenever they need to. That's really clever.
Yeah, and they can just get in and they get all because everybody on my list. I mean, they came through some way. They cut. It's not social media, so it's not like I'm trying to get social media people to come. Like they're on my list. They came through either a summit, a bundle, a podcast, or a freebie. Like so, they came in some way, and so that's what I do like is that person can go in there and be like, oh, here's all, and they're in there for like the last 6 years or something. So it's a pile of them that are in there because I have a lot of free. Now there are some that are like I have an AI tool, a lovable app that is for like seasonal content ideas. That's I don't think that's in there. I could put that in there though, but like some of the stuff might not be in there, but most of it is.
Love that. I love that. Yeah, there's so much value for people as well. And I see also people saying, "Oh, don't give away too much," but actually, I'm almost like with you. I'm kind of like it's almost going back to that piece that we touched on, like letting people get to know you. If they look
Yeah.
through your stuff, they know like even if they just click on this and don't actually use them, they just want to see what you cover. That's another step of them going, "Oh, Heather, she knows about this. She teaches on this. She offers this." It's another step of like along that, like we said with the upsells and order bumps. It's another step
Yeah.
along the kind of path to working with you.
Yeah, and it's an easy way in with those, especially the order bumps and the tripwires, and then people can see how I teach and what I do. And one thing that people really like is, again, I give the negatives that happened and the positives. Like I was talking about, I grew my list by 2,500 plus people in 55 days, but I talked about the negative and the positive. I'm like, this event didn't do that well for me, and I would have thought it would. And it's not the host or anything because I didn't put the names of the bundles because I don't like doing that. But it's one of those things where one of my best testimonials is like, she's like, I like that you kind of normalize that some things they just aren't perfect, and that's just kind of part of being in events. And she said it made it much. I wasn't as worried about it then when she said like I didn't stress out about it because I'm like, oh, this could happen. I normalized it for them. So.
I love that. And I love that you're getting all this feedback from people. So do you get a lot of people kind of hit reply on your emails as well?
It depends. I did. So Monica Froze, I don't know if you know Monica, she teaches something called the inbox experiments, and it's absolutely brilliant. Because especially with all the stuff that we had going on, every year something new with email deliverability comes out. Like we need to do this, we need to get replies, and like the AI inbox thing. So my dad had to get surgery at the hospital, and I was going to be there for like 6 hours. And so what it is basically is you're giving out something free and you tell people to reply with something, and then you send them that and say, hey, if you give me feedback or something. And mine was a 30-minute content planner, it was a custom GPT, and people loved it. I got 155 or more replies.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah. And yeah, like you say, helping with your deliverability and stuff, everyone clicking and replying just, yeah, puts you right up there. But
Yeah, so it was
it's,
fun.
again, getting to know everyone in your list, all of those.
Yep.
I love it when people reply because, yeah, you feel like you know a little bit more about people and then you can write better to them as well. So my last kind of question really is there anything I haven't touched on looking at this email, anything we should know about it, any kind of advice you've got?
I just really always go back to the don't be afraid to be yourself because that's when you truly find your people. And like sometimes I look at my unsubscribes and I'm like, oh my goodness. And sometimes people will unsubscribe from like a really helpful email. Like I had somebody else say that too. But when
Yeah,
you're yourself, that's when you bring like the right people to you. And the people getting off your list are just, they're making room for more of the right people. I
yeah.
mean, we have to pay for our lists.
Mhm. Like you say, it doesn't get any easier. And it always surprises me, like if someone's been on the list for 2 years and then they unsubscribe, and I'm like, oh, but we were doing why now? But actually, you're right. It is that kind of it wasn't for them. So actually, they're helping by leaving. Um, so I
Yeah, when I pivoted more to AI, somebody wrote me and they're like, I don't want to hear about AI. And I'm like, so you might not want to be on my list then
yeah.
because I write a lot about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And I'm geeking out listening to you, getting excited about it. But if people aren't, then
Yeah.
yeah, it isn't the time to be, yeah, following you. Um,
I mean, when you get your email, I think I had like seven or almost, I think I had almost seven or 7,500 people, and then had to, and this was when we were cleaning our list less. So maybe I was doing it twice a year, but it was like 2,000 people I cleaned off. So every 3 to 6 months, I went longer this time than I wanted to, but I try to do every 3 to 6 months at the least. And when you see 700 people go, you just have to let yourself that, well, they're not opening my emails anyway, and they're going to cause my deliverability issues. And so these are all normal things. Like I don't sit there and look at my open rate or and I do look at that, my unsubscribe rate as much because I'm like, it's going to happen.
yeah. Yeah. I think you have to. I love this because I think you have to, like you say, write with you, you have to put personality in there. But then when it comes to the other side, they're kind of looking at the list cleaning or people unsubscribing, you almost have to step back a bit and go, put your business head on.
Yeah, I feel like it's like some people, I mean, I used to take it as a rejection kind of because I'm pretty sensitive to that. I'm not sensitive to many things, but that rejection thing is really big for me, whatever it is. So when I first started, I was like, well, I only have 300 people on my list, and this many. I only had 300 people on my list for probably 2 years. It was so funny. I got on ConvertKit back in the day, which is Kit now. I got on it like almost as soon as like I started my blog, and even though I had to pay every month and didn't have much of a list, I knew I didn't want to move anywhere else, and that Kit was probably not going to go anywhere. So, and I was correct.
Yeah, yeah. They had a good
It's
evolution as
popular.
well with Kit, turning to Kit. Yeah, and it sounds like this whole, yeah, the whole bundle and events thing is just a massive, yeah, list builder as well. So I think there's a lot to be learned from you from like that approach and like you said, that practicing of the writing and not being afraid to write. Because again, that's something I think people are nervous about is you know, sending more emails. Like I get people that are like, "Oh, is once a month okay?" And I'm like, "Come on, let's go."
And I can remember, and I know that things happen in life, but I remember being scared when people started signing up to my email list. And this other beginners might think of this too. I was scared because that meant I had to show up.
Yeah,
So I was both happy and scared at the same time, like, oh my gosh. And I only emailed like once a week for a while. So that's the least amount that I would recommend people do. If you do once a month, then people are just not going to open your emails probably.
and it's strange because people will do that with social media. Like they'll do the Instagram, they'll put themselves out there, but then get nervous around email. And
Not,
I'm like, actually, email, like you said, is such a like because people have opted in.
yeah,
It's less public than doing it on
yeah.
Instagram or LinkedIn or any of those places because that's your little world you're creating and people are opting into it. So you can go
And I
on.
mean, that's warmer people than social media.
Yeah. So definitely if you're gonna practice and do it anywhere, do it on email. Um
Yep. You can turn your, if you're like an Instagram person, you can totally turn that into email. Now, I would do the opposite because I love email and blog posts and writing. So, but you can do it that way too. You can flip it. Repurposing is what's going to save you time. If you have like a gazillion social media posts like I do from back in the day, you can repurpose that even into other social media posts, but into emails and stuff.
yeah. Yeah, because the amount of people that see social posts is so small. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, repurposing, and I even repurpose old emails. Like I will look back, okay, because a lot of it is evergreen. So it's kind of like, what can I reuse? Definitely. Amazing, Heather. Thank you. Will you please share where people can find you and sign up to your emails?
So my website is writerslifeforyou.com, and I have an everything page at the top so you can see all of my freebies and almost all of my products because I am a prolific creator. I love creating. I don't promote as much, but I love creating. So yeah, you can find me there, and even on the homepage there's places you can sign up for my email list because I do like to have fun. And I feel like doing this for like 7, 8, 9 years now that we have a lot and we've been through a lot. Look at what we've seen, the changes that have come. And so I really do like to let people into my world and show them what's working, what's not. And yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for recording with me today. I have had fun and I've learned so much from you.
And thank you for having me because this was really fun because this is very unique. When you wrote me about this, I was like, ooh, I like that. That's unique. So I really appreciate you having me on here.
Oh, thank you, Heather.